On one side of this table, a road atlas, routes penciled in over 20 years. On the other, a baby blanket. 2 dreams, 1 table. And for a while, the couple who owned them was quietly afraid the two couldn't share a life. I'm Jose Martin, and this is Real Talk. The couple's a composite, but their story and the tension I see all the time. Meet Gary and Cheryl. Gary's 62, 30 years running operations for a distribution company. Just step back. Cheryl's 61, a labor and delivery nurse going per diem. House paid off, around $2.2 million saved. By every number on the page, they're in great shape. So I expected a victory lap, but what I got was 2 people being very careful not to look at each other. Here's what was underneath it. Gary's wanted forever to take the trip. Not a cruise, but the slow one. Blue highways, small towns, national parks. He's got a dog-eared copy of the book and an atlas with the routes already drawn. Cheryl? Well, their daughter just had their first grandbaby, 20 minutes away. Her dream is to be there. A someday little place in the Blue Ridge where the whole family lands, and neither's wrong. But Gary heard we have to stay put, and Cheryl heard he wants to leave right when the family's growing. 2 retirements, 1 roof, and nobody had said the quiet part out loud. So, in the discovery conversation, I didn't start with a portfolio. I asked each of them separately, what does a great year in retirement actually look like? And Gary described 3 months on the road, and Cheryl described the baby's first birthday and a porch in the mountains. And hearing each other say it out loud, just the pictures, no numbers, something loosened. Because neither had ever priced either dream. The trip was a vague someday, the mountain place a we probably can't, and a vague dream doesn't feel like a plan, it feels like a threat to the other person's dream. So I told them what I'll tell you. They didn't have a money problem, they had a translation problem. You're not choosing between 2 retirements, you're sequencing 1. Retirement isn't a destination you pick, it's an itinerary, and itineraries have an order. 3 traps had them stuck. 1. The someday fund, treating the dream as someday once we're sure. But the research is blunt. Retirement spending isn't flat. It's highest in the early active years, the go-go years, and tapers as we slow down. The years you're healthy enough for a 3-month road trip are finite, and you can't bank them. Someday has an expiration date. 2. The either-or, his trip or her roots. That's a budgeting frame on a scheduling problem. The answer wasn't sacrifice, it was sequence. 3. The flat line. The most common model assumes you spend the same inflation adjusted for 30 years. But David Blanchett's research shows real spending forms a smile. Higher early, dipping mid, rising late as healthcare costs climb. Plan for a flat line and you either oversave and underlive or run scared the whole way. Plan for the smile, not the straight line. So, we ran their wealth map, means, aspirations, protection. And because this was an aspiration story, we started there on purpose. Aspirations. We named both dreams and put a number on each. Then we sequenced them. Front-load the active dream in the go-go years, while Gary's knees still love a trail, but in legs. A 10-week first leg, not a 15-month disappearance. Home for the holidays. The mountain place as the anchor. 2 dreams, 1 itinerary. Secondly, means. Where's the money come from without touching what keeps them safe? The pre-Social Security years get funded thoughtfully from taxable and Roth. And because Gary's the higher earner, delaying his Social Security towards 70 lifts the guaranteed floor for life and protects Cheryl if she lives longer. The exact order in the tax mechanics? That's a conversation with your tax advisor, not a rule of thumb from a video. And third, protection. The fear under all of it. What if we take the trip and the market tanks? Well, this is where our all-weather portfolio philosophy earns its keep. It's a design philosophy, not a promise, built to weather a rough stretch so a bad early year doesn't cancel the dream. The goal was never to avoid every storm, it's to be built for them, so they could spend the plan instead of guarding it. So what happened? They didn't pick a dream, they sequenced one. That first autumn, they took a 10-week leg, the Smokies, then the Blue Ridge Parkway. And here's the part I love. That parkway runs right past the kind of town Cheryl had already circled. His road trip and her mountain place were never on opposite sides of the table. They were on the same map. They just never laid it out together. They came home for the holidays and the baby's first birthday. And that spring, they bought the little place in the Blue Ridge. Leg 2 is penciled in for next fall. Cheryl put it best. She said, "I thought he wanted to leave. Turns out he just wanted to go somewhere with me." If retirement's on your mind and you and your partner each carry a picture of what it should look like, but you've never put both on the same table and priced them, that's not a fight waiting to happen. It's a plan waiting to be built. That's the conversation we're built for at Lifecraft. Whether you have $500,000, $5 million, or anything in between, and 2 dreams that have never been sequenced, let's chart the course together. The first conversation is complimentary, no pitch, just your 2 pictures and an honest look at whether they fit. Links in the description or call the office. I'm Jose Martin. Name it, price it, sequence it, and then smile through retirement together.